Hey guys, this is Red and Blue, and the Champions League really starts today. First knockout round, it's on the way. It's starting tonight. PSG will, of course, be playing tomorrow against Chelsea. And if you haven't seen it yet, go check out the preview video we did yesterday with my man Matt from the Stamford Sync. Hour-long videos that covers everything under the sun about this game. A really must-watch at this point, so go check it out. But anyway, today I thought we'd do things a little bit differently. I think it's a good time to look at the Champions League now, all the way to the final. And so I thought what we'd do is that I do my bracket for the Champions League, give you all of my predictions between now and the end of May, the final, and eventually who wins it, and give you a sense of, where my head is at, what I think about the matchups, and where I see this competition going. And, answer the big question for PSG fans. Are we going back to back? It is the question. So anyway, there's a great tool on the website of UEFA, so I'm going to be using that. And we're just going to go, game by game. Starting with PSG Chelsea, actually. And I think, we talked about this one, like I said, at length yesterday. So I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail. I think ultimately, really, really close game, really, really hard one for PSG. But I think PSG wanting revenge for the Club World Cup, with more experience of the Champions League, with a better coach, and I think, in key positions, better players as well, if I'm honest. I think we do have enough to kind of see it through. And so on this one, I'm going to give a very, very short victory to Paris. Next one, Galatasaray-Liverpool. This one is actually interesting. A lot of people I've seen actually think Galatasaray can create an upset here. They did face off the two teams in the group stage, and Galatasaray did get the win over Liverpool. But that was really beginning of the season when Liverpool wasn't going so well. Not everything is perfect right now for Liverpool, but they definitely improved. They have the benefit of insights and having seen what this Galatasaray team is capable of. And I think, on the other side, Galatasaray, they just played their big game against Besiktas this weekend. So they had to play, their top starting 11 when Liverpool had space to rotate. And so I think overall, if I'm honest, an upset is not impossible, but I think at this point, Liverpool probably has enough to make it through. Next one, and probably on paper the most alluring matchup of this first knockout round, Real Madrid versus Man City. I think it's an interesting one, but I think at this point, honestly, Real Madrid don't produce enough in terms of football to actually be competitive. They're going to be missing Mbappe for at least the first game, if not both of them. They're missing Rodrigo as well. Vini is kind of on and off, can definitely, shine in one game, but over two games, I have a little bit of a hard time imagining it. And, I think with Arbeloa, their new coach, things aren't completely clicking just yet. And, on the other side, not everything is perfect in Man City, but they are second of the EPL. They have the Pep Guardiola shine of it all. Cherki has made improvement. Reinders in midfield is improving a lot. Haaland is always there. So I think this one honestly goes to Man City, I think, pretty clearly. And then the next one, Atalanta Bayern Munich. Look, I think Bayern Munich is a machine, and so I'll give this one to them. But I think at the same time, for us PSG fan, we played Atalanta at the very beginning of the season where things were really not going well for them. They're a stronger team now, and so they could create problems for Bayern Munich, but I think Bayern Munich definitely has enough power to actually see it through. Okay, the next one, Newcastle-Barcelona. I'll be honest, this one has been on my mind a lot. And I've been questioning myself, and I've really done my research and so on. And I think Newcastle can really pull an upset here. Barcelona is the favorite. Clearly, on paper, they've got the better teams. They've got Lamine Yamal, who's on fire. Defensively, they seem to have fixed a lot of things since the beginning of the year. But at the same time, they have a lot of people injured. And I think, this Barcelona versus the intensity of really like physical Newcastle team. Yeah, like there's something about it where I really like. I really think that's tactically a place where an upset could happen. Newcastle, they've got very fast wingers as well to take advantage of the high line of defense. They've got a very physical midfield when Barcelona is going to be missing Frankie de Jong. They've got some pretty like big and tall defenders, so Lewandowski might have a hard time against that. Of course, they've got Yamal. Of course, they've got Rafinha, and we know anything can happen with those guys. So it's not, it's far from impossible that Barcelona would be going through. But I really do think like Newcastle has the weapons to really pull off an upset. And so I'm going to give it to Newcastle. I know it's a big bet. Bear with me. Let me know in the comments what you think and how much you don't agree with me. But like this is what I see. Next game, Atleti Tottenham. Tottenham is in the doghouse this season. I think Atletico, even if they're not very constant and very even in their performances, I think this one is also a bit of a no-brainer and goes to Atleti. Now, the Cinderella story of the competition, Bodo Glimt facing off against Sporting Portugal after kicking out Inter Milan. I think the Cinderella story continues a bit longer, and I'll tell you what, the Sporting Portugal traveling to the Arctic Circle to play on an artificial pitch on the first week of March in what must still be like 0 degree or -degree weather. It's a long travel, it's a tricky one, and then like Bodo Glimt on the return, we know that they have the sort of team cohesion where if they have any sort of lead, they can sit on it and carry it home and take it home. And so I think they might go through this round as well. Sporting is not a bad team, but I do think it's ultimately like they are favorites in a game that they really shouldn't be. Ultimately, they shouldn't be, because like even geography set aside, Bodo Glimt, like they've played good football. It's not only like because it's hard to play up north, they play very good football. And I think in this case, the football might just be close and might just be 50-50. I think the geography takes it over the top for them. Last game, Leverkusen Arsenal. I actually thought about this one a bit longer than I thought, if I'm honest. I really question whether like Leverkusen might be able to pull off an upset. I think like the profile of a German team with, big like 2-meter like Tapsoba and a few like really big and meaty defenders. If it might be the kryptonite for Arsenal, ultimately though, like I think like it's not. I think it's closer than what most people expect, but I don't think Leverkusen is just all the way there. And so ultimately, I think Arsenal has enough firepower to go through. But I think it's gonna be closer than what most people expect. Next round, how should I do it? Let's go from down to up this time. So Bodo Glimt Arsenal. I think that's where the Cinderella story ends. I think at that point, Arsenal is just like the margin is too big, and I think Arsenal, like, as much as we joke about them like not winning a trophy and so on, they do have enough experience, they do have enough know-how to like not fall into a trap at this point, and I think the difference in quality is just wide enough that Arsenal goes through. Newcastle Atleti, so that's another interesting one. And I think at this point, it's probably like not gonna be the most like watchable game of football, if I'm honest, at that level. But I think it could be a relatively interesting one. And I think, where Barcelona had a deficit of physicality against Newcastle, I think against Atleti, it's a very different story. And I think it's Atletico team, which, like I said, is very inconsistent. So it's kind of hard to predict. But I do think they've got enough offensive firepower and defensive know-how to kind of ultimately manage to get one over this Newcastle team. And so I'll give it to Atleti. in what I think will be like a very close kind of dark arts kind of battle, which will be not the most fascinating of watch, but tactically should be pretty interesting. Next one, Man City Bayern Munich, and that is a big one. This is Pep Guardiola versus one of his students in Vincent Kompany. This is a machine of Bayern Munich versus a team that's still, near the top of the Premier League, that recently won a Champions League as well. That granted has a lot of players that joined recently, but it's still it's still a very, very big team. I think on this one, I'll go for the surprise and I'll give it to Man City. And my reasoning for this is that I think it ends up being a battle of the coaches, and I think Pep Guardiola has just that little bit more know-how at that level, being able to play those games and to win those games. And so I think he gets one over Vincent Kompany. I think if you look at the players, Allen versus Kane, neck and neck, but Allen is maybe a little bit better. Olise versus Cherki. There's like the battles in midfield will be one for the ages, even defensively. I think ultimately, like another thing that I had for this one is that I think the difference makers in this Bayern team of Kane and Olise, they both come from the EPL, and so I think Man City will have the know-how of how to take them and how to keep them quiet. And so I think that's where like like Man City might have a little bit of an edge. Very, very close game, very hard fought. But ultimately, I think Man City has enough to make it through. Paris Liverpool, it's honestly a hard one for me because as a PSG fan, I'll tell you, I want to give PSG the win in 15 seconds. I think if we make it past Chelsea, it gives us such a big boost that then we can take it to the next round. Liverpool, even if it's a good team, even if they have like world-class players and they recruited a lot, they sit below Chelsea in the EPL right now. And it's a team that's not always super impressive. It's a team that we managed to beat last year. The only doubt that I've got in my mind is that the timing of the quarterfinal is exactly when we have our two biggest remaining games in Ligue 1. That's when we go to Lens, and that's when we host Lyon. And those are two absolute must-win games in Ligue 1 if we want to retain our title. So I do wonder, given like the lack of depth in our squad, the kind of questionable fitness all season, whether this PSG team would be able to really have 4 very, very high-level Champions League games in a row, essentially. I'll still give it to Paris because I think at that point, the players are Champions League players and we are Champions League teams. And if we have an opportunity, like, we'll take it and make it through. But yeah, I think it's like that one would basically be a coin toss anyway. Now, on to the semi-finals. We're getting close to it. PSG Man City, which is also another Pep Guardiola versus one of his disciples, Luis Enrique. Obviously, Luis Enrique has gotten to a point where the student has become a master a little bit. I think in this case, if I'm honest, I think that's where the story ends for PSG. I think Man City, they've got too much density physically, tactically, and technically. A PSG team which is never going to be at 110% this season. I've kind of made my peace with it. I think, physically we're going to be struggling all the way. I think we'll be able to make it work. For some games, like the mentality of the squad will carry us through some Champions League rounds. But I think that's the point where the gap is just a little bit too big. And honestly, just thinking of a matchup between Marquinhos and Haaland scares the hell out of me. I think in midfield, they do have the physicality of a Chelsea, but with more creativity, more firepower. Their defense is second to none. And yeah, I think tactically, Pep Guardiola is just a force to be reckoned with. And so I think ultimately, like, Man City makes it true. Now, the second semi-final, Atleti Arsenal, I think it's a tough one. I think it's a surprisingly tough one. And I think, honestly, at this point, I will give it to Atleti. And I know that's another one which I expect like a lot of people might not agree with me. I'll tell you what, I think like a dark arts, Diego Simeone, Atleti Madrid at the peak of their defensive powers. I think it's exactly the sort of kryptonite that an Arsenal team could fear. I think it's the exact sort of team that really could create too much problem for Arsenal. And I think, ultimately Arsenal at that point, they might be fighting to really like get the EPL done and sorted. I know like English teams, there's always a place in the competition where they have to focus on their national league a little bit. And I think Arsenal, if it comes to a point where they would have to choose between the two competitions, I think like probably like the EPL might be more alluring in a way. I don't think it'd be a conscious choice or anything, but yeah, I think, and like the last piece as well is that it's pretty likely that it's going to be Diego Simeone last season in Atletico. And I think, if they get to this level, I can see the players really rallying around the idea of like having this big moment as a sort of farewell to their coach. And I think that's kind of what takes them through. Big upset as well, so curious to get everyone's opinion, but yeah. And so we get to a final between Man City and Atletico Madrid. And I think on this one, yeah, honestly, like for me, it's a little bit of a no-brainer. I don't think it's interesting because it's really not the finals that I would have expected when I started looking at the bracket. Everyone talks about how Bayern Munich and Arsenal are dominant. People talk about PSG and being able to go back-to-back. People talk about Barcelona and Lamine Yamal and so on. In the end, none of those teams make it through. And I think, in this unexpected final, I think I give it to Man City, who just have more experience at that level. They've got the superior squad. They've got the superior coach. And I think even if Julian Alvarez will be very, very keen to get one over his old team, I think that's just too much for Atletico, and I think Man City takes it. So yeah, for me, like this kind of like the bracket. Let me put myself by full screen. Yes, this is like the bracket that I had for you guys. Let me know. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of this. Do you agree with me? Which parts of it do you disagree with me? Do you see PSG going back to back? I think at this point, like there's a lot of negativity among PSG fans. So I expect probably not a lot of us are at this point. But yeah, let me know who you think makes it all the way. Who's your favorite? And yeah, like let me know in the comments. And as always, if you've made it this far, please drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Really, really helps and really appreciate everyone doing that. Hit the bell as well to get notified of future videos. And don't forget, in this bracket, ici c'est Paris!